Hey guys, how is everybody tonight? We are on a live. Woo! Alright, welcome to the first installment of Whiteboard Wednesday. And tonight, what tonight's actually all going to be about is over the last week or week and a half, I've been putting a few posts in the group and asking you guys to comment what your roadblocks are with your business. What it is that you believe is holding you back from ultimate success with Kindle Direct Publishing, okay? So in this Whiteboard Wednesday, the very first one we've ever done, I'm going to be unpacking these roadblocks right here on this whiteboard behind me tonight. And we're going to see if we can work through them and actually get you guys past them and moving forward in your business instead of staying stagnant and not feeling like you're really getting anywhere with KDP, okay guys? But before we get into that, there's a lot of new people in the group and I just want to explain to you guys, first say hello and thank you for joining, and then explain to you guys a little bit about who I am and what I do and what I've actually been able to accomplish, just so you know it's worthwhile listening to me, right? Because I could be any old Joe Blow. That's an Aussie word, guys. Joe Blow means like just the random guy down the corner, right? So a lot of you guys might not know who I am yet. So what I'm going to get into first is the system, right? Because essentially I've been able to run a 6-figure business for the last 10 years with Kindle Direct Publishing, and it's all done with pure passive income. Like when I talk about pure passive income, what I mean is being able to put a few actions into place, right? And don't get me wrong, these actions are hard work, so you need to put these actions into place and then consistently be paid for those actions. Pretty much, it's like a perpetual machine. You pretty much be paid for these actions. What those actions are is uploading the correct books into KDP with the right system and being paid for those actions for the rest of your life, right? Even generational. I say this a lot because it truly is. It's a generational income. And how I've been able to accomplish this is through a specific system, right? I was not always successful with KDP. It didn't happen overnight like that, right? I was once a homeless man. I'm not going to go right into my backstory, not tonight anyway, but essentially I struggled. Like when I first got into KDP, a friend of mine told me about it and I went out and I wrote a book and that didn't work. That tanked wildly. It's called Daddies and Their Little Darlings. It's about fatherhood for single fathers, and it's still available on Amazon today. So go buy it, guys. If you're a single father, it will be beneficial to you. And then nothing happened. No sales happened, right? And I was devastated. But then one day I was over at a friend's house, and he's in the music business, right? And he taught me about how he's selling tracks online, and he was making a killing at this time. Remember guys, this is 10 years ago, and he was making an absolute killing for that time. And so he told me what he was doing, and I thought this can be applied to books, it has to be able to. And sure enough it was, and a long story short, once I started applying it again, nothing happened. And over the next 2 years, I started developing systems, because I'm all about systematically attacking things, right? And actually like testing these systems up against each other until I had the perfect system. And ever since then, I've been making phenomenal money with Kindle Direct Publishing. Now guys, what this system is, I'll quickly go over it, alright? The first thing you need, I've got some cliff notes here as well guys, just so we don't miss anything tonight. But the first thing is, when it comes to my system, is mindset. Now, I don't really like the word mindset. I like to call it more like mind growth, right? Because you're actually growing your state of consciousness when we're talking about mindset. When I'm talking about mindset, I'm talking about growing your state of consciousness, okay? And what we essentially do is, we're not talking about like motivation and mindset are two totally different things. When I talk about mindset, I'm talking about actionable mindset. Actual steps you can take, measure, and implement into your business and life to be able to improve your personal performance. That's what I mean by mindset, right guys? And not only that, being able to develop the mental toughness to actually do what it takes to succeed. Because success isn't easy. Let me just write this down, guys. Mindset. Mindset is the first step, right? So I'm going to draw a really crude little brain here. mindset. Right, that's a brain, okay? Don't laugh at me, but that's a brain. So, what was I getting at? Okay, yeah, so mindset is a state of being, really. It creeps into every aspect of your life, every little nook and cranny of your brain. You need to develop this mindset that as human beings, our minds go to dark places, right? It's a natural state of our consciousness for our minds to go to dark places. And what we need to do is develop little fail safes inside of our mind. So when we go to that dark place, we're so consistent with our mindset and our mindset training that when we're there, there's a wall, and that darkness hits that wall, and it's got nowhere to go but bounce back into the light, right? So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about mindset inside of my program, inside of my strategy, inside of my life, inside of everything that I do with Kindle Direct Publishing. It revolves around this. Without that mindset, I would still be a homeless man. Without that mindset, I would be struggling somewhere, right? I would not be successful with KDP how I am today. So that is the number one rule, mindset, when it comes to any business. And like I said, actionable mindset, guys. So I'm talking about that brick wall and that light, right? And also like doing things like key performance indicators and KPIs, actionable things that you can actually measure to improve your performance. And when you see your performance improving over a measurable rule, right, and you're seeing your performance improving over time, it gives you a pickup. It gives you that energy that you need to continue, to have that consistency, right? Because it's all about consistency. That's one of the biggest things. Without consistency, you just won't be successful. It's like when you go to the gym. If you go to the gym and you're not consistent going to the gym, you're not going to see results, and you're going to be discouraged, and you're going to stop going to the gym. Business is exactly the same. So guys, the second thing in my strategy, and none of this strategy, right, that I use is any more important than mindset, right? So this is the number one rule right here, mindset. The second thing is opening a KDP account, right? Because believe it or not, there's different types of KDP accounts. There's different ways to open them, and they need to suit your purpose. So actually opening a KDP account, right, is number two. And opening the account in such a way that your tax is handled. Because this is a big thing, guys. You can lose a lot of money to tax, and nobody wants to do that. And actually a lot of people that I know who work with Kindle Direct Publishing, they don't do their tax right. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter if you have an income tax treaty with KDP or not. If you know the proper loopholes and the proper tricks, you can pay minimum tax legally and make more profit in your pocket. And that's what it's all about. So when you set up your KDP account, it's all about the tax. It's all about getting paid the correct way, the fastest way with the minimum fees. So mindset, set up your account the right way. That's number two in my strategy. Number three is creating books. Right? That is a book, guys. This is a book. As you can see, little me on the front there. So, when it comes to creating books, you need to decide specifically what market you want to be in. There's all different types of books that you can create, guys. Low and no content is not the only strategy out there. There's so many ways you can create books. It's not even funny, right? So the first thing you need to do is decide what type of author or publisher am I going to be. And once you've decided that, you need to go all in on that type of book, okay? And you need to decide what sort of strategy you're going to have when it comes to your books. Are you going to go all in with ads? Are you going to go all in with organic? Like what strategy are you going to use? For me personally, the way that I do it is 100% organic. The only time I ever use ads is when I want to scale a really good organic seller. So guys, you need mindset, you need your account set up the right way. You need to decide what type of book that you're going to actually work with, or books that you're going to actually work with, and you need to go all in on those books. Now the next part of what I do is scale, right? scaling up. So, I just briefly touched on it on the last point. The way that I scale, there's two ways that I scale my business. I see consistent sellers, I watch the data. There's consistent organic sellers in my business. I'll watch the data, and where the data points me, and what I mean by that is what's being successful, what's actually working inside the data, okay? What type of book is selling well? What does the title structure look like on that book? What does the cover structure look like on that book? All of those different variables that make a book great, that make it pop, the niche that it's in, or the genre, depending on what type of books you're doing, right? And then I just do more and more and more and more of that, of what's working, of what the data's telling me. Now, I don't just continuously do more of that blindly. I continue to watch the data, because the data can bend and move and turn, right? I might be doing this thing that's working for a while, and then the data tells me, hang on, that's not quite working anymore, but this over here is. So I pivot and I go with that data, right? So that's one way to scale. Completely organically, just watching your data. The second way to scale is, again, watch your data, see what's selling consistently, figure out why it's selling, do some tests, put some more books up using different title structures, and like a similar title structure, a similar description structure, and a slightly different cover structure, and do some split testing and see what all those variables are working the best. And when you have a book that's magic and selling consistently, well, the way you can scale that, guys, is with ads. And I'll tell you why it will go through the moon. Actually, this part of the program, my program, is called Scale Beyond the Moon to Regions Uncharted, right? And the reason why it's called that is because you truly are able to scale beyond the moon, because you're working with a book that is proven in the market. Not just the niche, not just the genre. Like if you're talking romance, everyone knows romance books sells, but not every romance book sells, right? So you've got your proven title, it sells organically, consistently, you're making a passive income every single month from this book. Boom, let's throw some ads at that book, let's scale up that income, like substantially scale it up, right? And then essentially you're able to make a scaled income at will, right? So you're using ads. This is no longer a passive strategy when you talk about ads, because you need to monitor them, you need to make changes and tweaks to keep your ad sets profitable, right? So it's no longer a passive income. This is why I don't do ads all the time, and I only do them on specific titles that are proven to sell organically in the market, because you know there's demand. You know there's a demand inside of your market for that specific title. So you can't go wrong when you start throwing money at ads like that. But look, the thing is as well, I have a little rule when it comes to this. I never spend more money on that book in ads than I make in a month in passive income off that book, right? So essentially, I'm not spending my own money when I run ads. So that's why I say to people in my program, we can run ads that pay for themselves, and that's what I mean. And you truly can run ads that pay for themselves. Okay. Then we also have, guys, and this is really the last thing inside of the strategy that I use to scale my business to where it is, and that is taking all of my eggs out of one basket, right? And what I mean by that is not just publishing with Kindle Direct Publishing. People forget there are other platforms out there that you can utilize to sell your books on and split up your income. So, God forbid, right, anything ever happens to your K2P account, you're still making an income, because there's other platforms out there, guys. Like some of the ones that we actually use are ACX, so ACX audiobooks, iBooks, which is Apple, right, and Abe Books. Now, I don't suggest actually going all in on these platforms or other platforms. There's lots out there, Draft to Digital and other things, before you do this, okay? So you need to really build a sustainable Kindle Direct Publishing business first. That's where most of the money is. Like transparent, that's where most of the money is. But then once you've got that business and it's running and you've got some passive income coming in and you've quit your day job or whatever it may be, it's now time to split up your eggs. And not only will this be like a safeguard if anything ever happened up here, but it also increases your income, okay? So every single month you're building a bigger income because you're reaching other markets that are in other places and not just in Kindle Direct Publishing. Alright guys, so that's it basically for the structure that I've used to make a 6-figure income for over a decade with Kindle Direct Publishing. It's pretty simple, right? But in reality, every single part of these has a list as long as, I was going to say as long as my arm, but my arm's not very long, as long as a mile long, okay? Every single one of these has a mile-long strategy of all the little nuts and bolts and cogs that make it work. And that's why it took me actually 2 years to figure out this strategy and really make it work, because in every little cog that's inside here, right, not all cogs will work together harmoniously. You need to test them against each other. Cross out the ones that don't work and go all in on the ones that do work. It's just the same thing as when I talked about looking at your organic sales and going all in on what's actually working. Alright guys, so that's it for that. That's who I am. That's what I've been doing for the last decade. I'm not going to bore you any longer. Let's actually just get straight into the roadblocks, guys. So let's get rid of this. Where is the... Oh, here we go. Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay. Alright guys, so the roadblocks that were commented in the group recently, okay? I'm going to cover 2 roadblocks from 2 different people inside the group tonight. And the first one is Megan. And Megan says, I have 2 issues. Initially, I really lean into a project, but as soon as I start seeing some results, I let my foot off the gas, and I have no idea why. Okay, this could be a number of things, right? It sort of sounds a little bit like fear of success, in a way, okay? And when people say that, and you think, fear of success, I'm not afraid to be successful, it doesn't actually, it's not like a frontal conscious thing. You have fear of success in the back of your mind. It's subconscious, right? So that could be, we'll get into it a bit further, but Megan's next thing is, I feel like every book should yield a result. And when they don't, I get a bit demotivated to put up more books. Even though I understand that 20% of our efforts will create 80% of our results, somehow I feel like my conversion rate should be higher. Okay. So Megan, you're actually in my program, the KDP Permanent Cash Flow Program, which means that you have access to the mindset module, right? So there's 8 lessons in the mindset module. Now, I would actually suggest, Megan, that you go back and revise lesson 2 and lesson 8 of the mindset module, because those lessons actually cover in great detail your roadblocks, all right? But we'll get into it a little bit tonight, and so everybody can benefit from this. So the first thing was that you take your foot off. So really what this is, what you're really sort of saying here, is you get demotivated, right? You're not seeing the results you think you should see when it comes to every single book, even though you understand the 20-80 rule, right? And you get a little bit demotivated. Okay. So, Megan, persistence. Persistence is the mother and the father of all success. Without persistence, you can't succeed. And what's actually happening here, when you take your foot off that gas pedal, right? Pedal. Okay, when you take your foot off that gas pedal, you're actually setting yourself back. So you've just moved further away from your end goal. And if your end goal is to quit your job, well, it all adds up. So you'll be years, if not months, right, further away from your goal by taking the foot off that pedal consistently and not being persistent with going full bore into what you need to be going into, which is stop worrying about small things, okay? Stop worrying about the little things. If a book's not performing, your data's telling you it's not performing, you've got to not do more books like that. You need to look at what your data is telling you is performing and see if you can create more books in that genre. You know, you need to be able to read your data and forget about what's not performing. Look, don't forget about it, right? Don't forget about it. Let's just write this up here. So we're talking about motivation, really, right? You're not going to forget about what's not working. But what you are going to do is not worry about what's not working and just worry about what is working. Because what is working gets you closer to your goals. What's not working takes you further away. And you don't want to be further away from your goals, right, Megan? You don't. You don't want to be further away from your goals. You want to be closer every single day. And if you're not doing something every day to get closer to those goals, well then you're never going to get there. It needs to be consistent, right? And you need to be persistent as well in the face of adversity. You need to be persistent and continuously move forward. Otherwise, you are going to get demoralized. You are going to take your foot off the gas. And you are going to fall behind. And that's not what you want, Megan. So another thing here is self-accountability, right? So I talk about this in my program a lot because it means a lot. Now, when I talk about self-accountability, I mean there's an actual strategy for this, right? And it goes like this. Here, I'll write it up on the board. E plus R equals O. Megan, you should remember this from the program, right? E plus R equals O. And what this means, guys, is event plus response equals, can you guys guess what it is? Event plus response equals outcome. Here's the problem. A lot of people believe an event will happen in their lives or in their business. And because of that event, they get the outcome. They're forgetting about their response, okay? And if your response is to get demoralized when one of your books don't sell and take your foot off the gas, you're just hurting yourself. You're just getting further away from your goals. But if the event is not every single book that you upload sells, and your response is to say, okay, there's a reason why that book's not selling. What is it? Figure that out. And then go, I won't do any more of that. Instead, I'm going to look at my data and see what is working, and I'm going to do lots more of that. Okay? If your response is that, then won't your outcome be extremely different to the first response, taking your foot off the gas? Won't your eventual outcome be much, much better if your response is to say, hey, that's not working. There's a reason for it. Doesn't really actually matter what the reason is. What matters is what is working and why. Why are they working? If your response is to say that and instead follow the data and do more of what is working, isn't your outcome here going to be much, much better? It is, right? So, don't forget. Obviously, there is the 80-20 rule and all that stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. But don't forget that by thinking these things and sweating the small stuff, you're only hurting yourself. You're not moving forward. And you need to be persistent in the way that you take forward steps. You can't take steps backwards in business. You take steps backward, someone's going to walk right by you who's consistent, who had a different response to you, and now they're getting the outcome that you wanted, but you're not getting because you had the wrong response to the initial event. This works for everything in your business. If you ever have a response to something that you believe is actually hurting your advancement in your business or in life, think of this equation. Say, hey, that event took place. Was my response sufficient to keep me moving forward? Or was my response detrimental to my success? And if it was detrimental, change it. so you get the outcome you desire. Okay, Megan? I hope that helps you, Megan. So, yes, I was going to talk about the 80-20 rule, right? Now, you mentioned that 80% of, or 20% of what you do gets 80% of your results, right? And this is true. So, how do we go about increasing that 20% so you can scale it up? Well, I've already said it a couple of times here. We follow the data, right? We forget the 80% of crap, and we keep focusing on the 20% that works. And we do more and more and more of that. But we don't stop there. We continuously watch that data, because remember, it bends and curves. So what worked a month ago might not still be working in a month from a month ago. Well, that makes real sense, right? But you get me. So what's working now might not be what was working before. But the data never lies. If you consistently watch your data, watch where it goes, bend, curve, do 360s with it if you have to, you will achieve a larger, I wouldn't say a larger 20%. Your 20% kitty will grow exponentially. And so will your 80%, right? But your 80%, you can actually change this percentage equation. Because if you consistently keep doing the things that work, more and more of what you're doing moving forward is going to work, and less of what you were doing that wasn't working is going to shrink, right? So you're going to have a bigger kitty. The aim is to get 80% of stuff that works and 20% of the scraps, right? And you can do that if you follow the data. You can flip the 80-20 rule on its head, right? So that's the 80-20 rule. Now look, also, think about this for a second. There's millions, right? Millions of authors, published authors or self-published authors, it doesn't matter, out there who wrote 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 books before one popped, right? And there's lots of authors out there that wrote 5, 7, 10, 20 books and none popped. And they wasted, I wouldn't say wasted, because authoring a book is a fantastic thing. It can be very stressful, but it's amazing, right? Like, especially when it works. So I wouldn't say wasted, but imagine how demoralized those people are, right? You've got books at your fingertips, right? You're in my program. You can access hundreds, tens of thousands of books at your fingertips. So it's much easier for you to publish a book, watch the data, see what's working, and pivot in the direction that works. For an author, they spend months, sometimes years, writing books only to put them out there, and they don't sell. So if you think about that for a second, it's not unrealistic to say some of the work that you do is not going to actually work, right? It happens in everything and every business. So don't get demoralized if you're spending a lot of time or a lot of effort into a title and it doesn't sell. It happens. It's business, right? Focus on what's working. Stop focusing on what's not working. I've got my neighbour's dog out there going crazy and someone on their lawnmower. So sorry guys if it's a bit noisy. Okay. Yeah, Megan, just follow the data, right? To increase your chance of making more sales, follow the data, pivot with the data, turn corners with the data, and you'll do just fine. Alright guys, let's move into the next one. Let's just remove this. Okay, Omar, my man, how are you going? Are you on, mate? Are you on tonight? Maybe, maybe not. I haven't actually seen anybody on yet, but all good. I'm going to leave this video up. So Omar says, lack of motivation. The market is getting harder each day, and even fighting over crumbs is becoming impossible. Absolutely, Omar. I feel you, man. And so that's Omar's number one. Omar has 2 roadblocks as well. And pretty much motivation, Omar, we just covered, right? So that was what you're saying there is I've got lack of motivation because we're fighting over crumbs and it's becoming impossible. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Omar, change direction. Like I said before, there's other books you can publish rather than low and no content out there. Change direction in your business. and move with the times. Low and no content is a dying art, right? I've said it before. There's a lot of people out there, including my friends that do low and no content, that don't really like me saying this. But low and no content is not going to be around forever, and I'll tell you why. Because Amazon is a customer-centric business, and low and no content is being flooded with low quality books, right? Low quality books in the Amazon space, in the marketplace, and Amazon hates it. And it doesn't matter. People say, yeah, but low and no content authors make Amazon money, so Amazon will never touch them. That's not true. Amazon has done many times, has banned things over the years because of low quality. And we all know the amount of low quality books, like especially low and no content books, that are in Amazon right now. Eventually, Amazon's going to take a stand, and you guys are going to struggle if you're not ready for it. So pivot now, make the move. Join my program if you like, right? I don't do low and no content books, but you need to do something. Because like Omar says here, he's already fighting over scraps, and it's almost impossible to make any headway in the low and no content space. Keywords, categories, they're not going to do it for you. Not these days, right? Maybe when there was hardly any competition many moons ago, but not anymore. Which actually brings me to Omar's next question. Omar, pivot, man. Stop doing what you're doing if it's not working, right? It's the same thing I said to Megan. If something's not working, stop doing it and focus on what does work. Okay, anyway. Number 2, finding keywords and how to implement them in your listings. The old keyword nutshell. Didn't I just say keywords won't work? Well, it's true. A keyword strategy on its own will not work, but I am still going to give you my keyword strategy tonight because I get asked this question all the time. And it will probably increase your business slightly, but a keyword strategy alone is not a strategy. It's not an entire business system, and it's not going to wildly make you successful. Even if you find the most searched keyword in the world and there's only 2 people for competition, right, and you put that keyword up, you're going to make a lot of money real quick, but other people are going to catch on to this, right? There's tools out there that I could see your keywords with, right? And if you're making sales, I'm sussing you out, right? That's what happens. It's a cutthroat industry. Now, in that instance, your obscure keyword overnight becomes the most difficult keyword to rank for in the world. It was once the most searched keyword in the world, and the competition was only one other person, and overnight you've lost your whole business because you've relied solely on keywords to be your business's savior. And I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way, guys. You need to start focusing on your Kindle Direct Publishing business like a business, okay? The proper structure. Like the structure I showed you when I first came up here, right? And I showed you guys the structure I use, and under each heading there's a whole list a mile long of all the little systems and cogs and nuts and bolts that go into making your business work. That's what you need. That's what you need to truly succeed in any business, not just Kindle Direct Publishing. But let's get into keywords, guys. Keywords. Just give me one sec. Hey guys, I'm on a video, please be quiet. That's my children. Okay guys, keywords. So, there's a bunch of tools that I use. They're all free tools. Most of them are Chrome plugins and one Google tool, okay? So I'm going to list out now what those tools are, and you can go download them from the Chrome plugin store and install them into your browser, and you can go ahead and do the system as soon as you're off this video tonight. Okay, so the first one is ANZ Suggestion Expander. Now, some of you guys have probably heard of these, but you know, I'll actually tell you how to use them as well here. So ANZ Suggestion Expander Chrome plugin, guys. The next one is Keyword Surfer. Keyword Surfer. The next one is a web-based platform, so it's not actually a plugin, but it's called Sooble. Sooble. Sooble, right? And this one here too is also a web-based platform, so it's not a plugin, and it's called Sonar. Sonar. And then lastly, we have Google Keyword Planner, the good old trusty Google Keyword Planner. So, Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner. Okay, guys. So here is the strategy, right? Actually, first I'm going to tell you what each of these do. So AMZ Suggestion Expander does what the name suggests. When you go into Amazon and you type in a keyword, it will expand the keyword suggestions, and essentially you'll have a little box that pops down, right? And you'll have your regular suggested keywords based on the keyword you typed in, and you'll also have keywords before and keywords after. What this means is any keywords before your key phrase that you typed in, that other people have typed in, and any keywords after your key phrase. So it just expands your suggested keywords when you're typing in a keyword into the Amazon platform. Keyword Surfer, what this does, it's really handy because you can find keywords that you never would have even thought of while you're just searching the internet, right? It's a Google plugin, and right on your browser when you type in keywords and you're searching things and going about your daily business, you'll see a little pop-up on the right-hand side of your browser window, and right up there in the address bar where you typed in, or the search bar I should say, you'll see a little some numbers next to it, and it'll just tell you the search volume of the search that you just typed in. And on the right-hand side down here, it'll have suggested keywords based off what you just typed in. And sometimes when you're just going about your business, you might type in something about a book or whatever, you'll see a keyword pop up and it'll have a great search volume, and you're like, that's interesting, right? And you can just go and you can check it out and see if it's worthwhile using, okay? So, Keyword Surfer, that's what that's for. Now, Sooble is a web-based platform where you get ideas for keywords, okay? So, say you've got a book on romance. I'll use the romance example. You go into Sooble and you just type in romance novel, something like that. And what Sooble will do is it will pull from Amazon, it will pull keywords that are typed into actually Amazon around what you've just said, romance novel, and it will populate a list of them for you. So essentially you need a list of keywords to be able to narrow down your good keywords, right? So Sooble will help you do that. You can type in just ideas from your head based off the book that you're trying to publish, right? So you know what the book's about, whether it's low or no content, whatever it is, puzzle book, type in puzzle book. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is Sooble will give you a whole list of keywords that you can use to create a big list of keywords and then narrow it down to your 7 fantastic keywords. Alright. Next we have Sonar. Now Sonar is a very simple platform where you can type in a keyword and it will tell you a basic search volume on that keyword, right? And that's all I use, because all these really in-depth tools talking about precise keywords, well, Amazon doesn't actually give precise keyword search data, right? So all these tools are just guesstimates. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter, right? I know that's probably goes against the grain a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. As long as there's a search volume that's half decent, it's a good keyword, guys. Even if there's competition, but we'll get into that later. And then Google Keyword Planner. Everybody knows what that is. It's where you go to Google Keyword Planner tool and you type in a keyword and it will tell you the search results based per month on Google, right? So Google and Amazon have a very similar search setup, right? So if there's something that's really good in Google, it's likely to be really good in Amazon. And plus, people can find your book by typing keywords into Google. And you want that because that's part of the organic strategy. you don't want to just focus on Amazon when it comes to keyword and organic sales, right? So it's really good to use Google Keyword Planner, especially to find your 2 core keywords, which is what we're going to get into next. Okay, guys? So let's just get rid of this. Alright, okay guys, so you have 7 keyword slots in KDP. 7 slots. You need to fill up each of these slots. Now, I prefer to use long tail keywords because that's the right way to do it. Okay, so you want to fill up as many character spaces in these slots as you possibly can. And the way to do this is, first off, the strategy goes like this. This is how it works. You want to get 2 keywords, core keywords. What I mean by 2 core keywords is you essentially want 2 really good keywords, high search volume, low competition. Only 2, not 7. Okay, guys? 2 really good keywords. So you can use those tools that I just explained to find them. You can go into Google Keyword Planner and find them and make sure that you've got 2 really good, high search volume, low competition keywords. And then you're going to have 5 support keywords. Or really, key phrases. Key phrases, okay? Because these ones, these 5 keyword slots that are left, we're actually going to fill up all the character spaces, or close to it as we can. Excuse me a moment. I still don't see anybody on. That's all good, guys. This will be staying up for a day or 2, so everyone will get the chance to see this training. It's a shame though, I would have liked to talk to a few of you guys. Anyway, 5 support keyword phrases, okay? Now, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything for you guys here. Alright, so step number 1. Go to Subel. Go into Subel and get yourself a massive list of potential keywords. Now you can use these keywords to find your 2 core keywords and your 5 support key phrases, okay? So that's just the overall structure of what we're doing here. First thing we want to do is go into Subel and type in words related to the book that you are publishing and get yourself a huge list. Just keep typing in different words and then even get ideas off the words that pop up and type in other ones. In Subel, the good thing about it is too, you'll see Google search results, you'll see all the other search engine search results, not just Amazon, okay? So what you want to do is just open up a Word document, start copying and pasting these keywords in the max. You want a list of, say, at least 60 to 120 keywords, okay guys? And it's very easy to get in Subel. Doesn't mean all these keywords are going to be used, right? We just need a big list to start off with, alright? So go to Subel, find some keywords. The next step is list out the results, which I just said. Okay, so now we take these keywords, right? And it's a little bit time consuming. This is what the strategy is. You need to make sure you get this right. So we go to Amazon and type each keyword, or copy, because you've got them in your Word document, right? So copy keyword number 1, throw it into the Amazon results. Amazon search. And then guys, we're going to get, remember we have AMZ search expander inside of Amazon. So we're going to be able to find bigger keywords, more long tail keywords, keywords before, keywords after the keyword that we've typed in. And in some instances, there will be none, because that specific keyword is only being searched on Amazon. Because remember, everything that comes out of Subel has come initially out of Amazon. So you're just taking Amazon key search phrases that are already there in Amazon and typing them in to see the expanded suggestions, right? That's all you're doing. And then you're going to copy the expanded suggestions back into your Word document on the next page or something, away from your initial keywords. Okay, guys? So the next step is, okay, we take the final list. So the final list, after we've got everything from Suitable and we've gone into Amazon, that's got an M there, and we go into Amazon search and we get expanded search results. We take our final list. You can delete the whole top list now if you like. We take our final list, and it should be narrower too, because if those key search terms weren't actually there, they're probably not searched much, so you can scrap some as you go, right? And we take it to Sonar. We take it into the Sonar tool, and we again copy and paste each keyword into Sonar. Okay, just give me 1 second. Thought somebody was here. All right, we copy and paste each keyword into Sonar to see if it actually has a search volume. Now we've got a list of keywords a mile long, right? As we paste keyword number 1 into Sonar, it might have little to no search volume. So we cross it off our list. We post keyword number 2, might have little. You will find actually a lot of them will have little to no search volume, which this is fine. We cross it off our list. Because remember, we only need 5 at the end of the day. And we continuously do this until we've got what's left. We might have, usually you want to aim for about 10 minimum left over, okay, that have search volume. Now, they don't need to have massive search volume. Remember, guys, these are just support keywords. You've got your major core keywords, or you should already have them based off this, right? And you check them in Google Keyword Planner. Make sure they've got good search volume, low competition. Out of your initial list, you should do that first. I'm sorry I forgot to mention that. Find your 2 core keywords. You've already got your 2 core keywords. Right? So you're not looking for rock stars anymore, right? A lot of people burn their brains out looking for these keywords, all 7 keywords that are just fantastic and going to change their lives. But even when they find them, they don't change their lives. So stop doing it, okay? Just stop doing that. You need only 2 good keywords in every book campaign. Then you're going to take your 5 support keywords. So when you're left with 10, you're left with 10 keywords, right? And they're long tail keywords. So let's make some examples here. Let's say, we'll use a romance example. Romance, dark, and romance, or dark romance, dark. And actually, we'll do that, dark romance. So we've got romance, dark, and dark romance. Now, can anyone tell me what we will do in this instance? We don't want to have copies of any keywords, not even one, right? Because it's just a waste of keyword space. And we don't want to have plurals. So if this is, for example, romances, right? We still only need romance. Because Amazon will ensure that romance and romances, even though it's not a word, right? Or romances, yeah, okay, will ensure that they rank you for both. So you don't need pluralized words, and you don't need repeat words. So you've got that, and then you've got, say for example, lust of a friend, right? Lust of a friend and love for others. Right, these are just examples. Now none of these are long enough. And pretend you've got 10 of these now, right? None of these are long enough to, I hope you guys can actually hear me alright. I forgot to put my mic on. Anyway, none of these are long enough to fill up all your character slots inside of your keyword fields. So what we're going to do is join them. We already know that all these keywords have search volume on them. We already know that they're only support keywords and they don't need to be fantastic. We didn't even look at the competition on them. There's no need. It's not necessary. You're only doing that for 2 keywords. Don't worry about the competition. Okay? We're going to join them up. So what sort of fits? Because it needs to make a little bit of sense. Amazon broad ranks, right? So you don't want keyword stuff in there, right? You don't want a keyword stuff and it makes absolutely no sense. To Amazon bot, it'll still rank you for each and every one of those words, and it'll rank you for the words that fit together. And so you want it to make a little bit of sense, okay? So you might say, we've already got rid of romance dark because we have dark romance, right? Dark romance, lust of a friend, right? These two go together. That's one keyword, right? And say you've got another one, falling in love. Now, this one's a little tricky because we have the same word, love and love, but we don't want repeat words. So what do? We take falling in and we put it up here. We leave love off. Falling in love for others. Okay? Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense if I said to somebody, I was falling in love for others. Well, I guess it sort of does make sense. I was falling in love for you to help your soul, right? Don't mind me. It's late in Australia, by the way. Let's get back to it. Falling in love for others becomes your full keyword. And you just keep doing this, crossing out any repeated keywords. Better face the camera, otherwise you're not going to be able to hear me. Crossing out any repeated keywords and joining up each keyword phrase that sort of makes sense to each other. Therefore, you end up with long tail keywords that will fill up the character spaces inside of your keyword fields, right? Now guys, what are we left with here? We're left with a keyword campaign. We're left with 2 core keywords and we now have 5 support key phrases that all have search volume, right? And they fill up all the character spaces. They tick all the boxes. Okay, I know you're probably thinking, damn, but I might never ever rank for those keywords because we didn't check the search volume. Yes, you will. Just give me one sec. I'll tell you why. You will rank for these keywords because you will rank for these keywords. And remember the 80-20 rule? These 2 keywords here, these 2 keywords is where 80% of your sales are going to come from anyway. You didn't burn your brain and spend days, hours, sometimes weeks searching for 7 full-on fantastic keywords that is getting rarer and rarer and doesn't really even exist. If you find 7 fantastic long tail keywords that fill up all the slots, you're better than I am because it's almost impossible, right? So don't do it. It's not necessary. All you need to do is have those 2 core keywords. Now these 2 core keywords don't need to fill up all of the slots, but if you can get a few keywords that fit in around that and make sense and do have search volume as well, as long as you've got your 2 really good keywords, the ones that have low search volume and high search volume and low competition, you can stuff a few keywords around it as long as they have ranking on them, search volume on them as well. But it's not necessary. In fact, I would probably just leave it. Even if it's a 2-word phrase, just leave it. Don't try to fill up those keyword fields, okay, for those 2. And then you've got your 5 supporting keyword phrases that will eventually rank. Now, just let it go. You don't need to rank everything immediately. These will rank pretty quick, and you're going to make 80% of your sales off these 2 core keywords. with time and sales on your book, Amazon's going to rank everything else you have because your book deserves it. It's making sales, it's ranking for 2 good keywords, right? This is the way to become a bestseller as well, guys. You will rank, you will make more sales, Amazon algorithm will begin to love you, you've used keywords that have search volume, who cares about the competition on your support keywords? All we're talking about here, guys, is the 2 core keywords, and then making the long tail support keywords. And that, guys, is how I do keyword research. Nothing more. It's not a magic spell, right? And it's not a magic strategy either. This alone will help you in your business. It'll help you move quicker through keywords. It will help you make more sales because you're going to rank quicker and you're going to get more books out, more books live, and it will help in your business. But it's not a magic strategy that's going to solve all your problems. There is no keyword strategy out there. There is no keyword strategy out there that's going to solve all your problems. You need a business strategy, okay, guys? So anyway, that's it. That's it for keywords, right? We've done the 7 slots. I showed you how to implement them in. I think I answered all your questions, Omar. Yes. Still got no one live. Dude, I wish you were on here, man. Okay. Alright, guys, that's almost pretty much it for the night. So, what I will say, guys, is, like I said, this is not an end-all strategy. Keywords are not going to get you to where you want to be with Kindle Direct Publishing. Niches are not going to get you to where you want to be with Kindle Direct Publishing. Specific books are not going to get you to where you want to be with Kindle Direct Publishing. What will get you to where you need to be with Kindle Direct Publishing is a complete strategy, a business model that you can implement every little section with precision, right? And hit those goals that you've been searching for, yearning for with Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, guys, if you saw the value in what I've offered here today in this live, I want you guys in my program. I want you guys to succeed. My program is called the KDP Permanent Cash Flow Program, and what I explained at the start of this live video tonight is essentially my program, but it's so much more detailed than that. And on top of that, guys, that's just the course part, right? The course has something like 80 lessons in it, 7 modules, something like that. It teaches you everything you need to know. But I also have a coaching program as well. And this isn't just a coaching program where I say, all right, guys, twice a week we're going to catch up on a live call and I'll sort out all of your issues in that half an hour block. That doesn't work. It hasn't worked for me in the past when I've been in programs, so I set it up a little bit differently, guys. If you're in my program, the KDP Permanent Cash Flow Program, you're going to get daily group coaching, okay? And what this means for you guys is that you will never have questions that go unanswered, ever. So, we have the course, and we have daily group coaching. And I've set it up in a way, guys, that you don't need to make yourself available for a live video at any specific time. I know I have students from all over the world, in all different time zones. It just doesn't work, right? Even for me, I'm in a course now, I pay $16,000 a month to be in this program. And I've only ever been on one coaching call. I've been in this thing 6 months now, right? I've only ever been on one coaching call because it's at 3:30 in the morning, right? It doesn't make sense. And then you get entrepreneurs saying, if you really want to succeed in this program, you'll be up at 3:30 in the morning. No, I won't. No. And nobody will, right? And even if they were, right? Even if they were, they're going to be like this. How are you going to learn something? How are you going to explain your issues when you're like that at 3:30 in the morning? It's not right. So, I set up the daily group coaching. And what this is essentially, it's a Voxer open chat, and you can jump in there and type your question. Now, I troll through these chats every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, and I'll answer everything in great detail and make sure you're never, ever stuck on an issue again. So that's the daily group coaching. Now, guys, what I want to do today is actually offer you guys something special, because you're on this live, right? Well, I don't actually have anyone on this live, but for the next 2 hours, if you take the time to watch this live in the next 2 hours, I'm going to give you 50% off. I'm going to give you 50% off what is already 50% off on my program. Now, guys, the program is selling right for $1,997. Okay, I'm already at 50% off, so I'm at $997. Today, I'm going to give you another 50% off, but only for the fast action takers. If you want more help and you truly, truly want to change your life, and you're ready to change your life, right? Then, jump on in. 50% off. Sorry guys, one sec. Please be quiet. Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear that? No, there's no one on. Anyway, if you're ready for that, that's what I'm offering. I'm not going to give you the whole sales hype and all this. If you want to work with me, and if you want to have a strategy that can truly give you what you seek, well then, I'm not going to sell you on it. You can come and jump in, because you have the option right now. Now, this is the coupon code, guys. It is 50 off today. This is the coupon code. It's only live for the next 2 hours. And I'll tell you why I've done that. Because for one, it's a lot off. 50% off what's already 50% off. I must be nuts, right? I've done it for the next 2 hours because I don't want just anybody in my program. This is the truth of it. This is the cold, hard truth. I only want people who are decisive. They're ready to take action. They're ready to change their lives, and they're ready to stick it through and persevere to the end. If you're not that person, please don't take the offer. And I mean that. With all my heart, I mean that. I won't just work with anybody, right? I want people in my program that are ready for success. If you're not ready for success and you're indecisive about where you want to be in life and what direction you're going in, then please don't take this offer. But if you are ready for success, guys, I want to see you inside the program. So you need to go. I've got to give you the link to www.kdpcashflow.com/order. Okay guys, if you want 50% off the KDP Permanent Cash Flow program today, which is a complete, detailed, doesn't miss anything, business model to work with Kindle Direct Publishing that will, if you stick to it like glue and you persevere through the program, you will make 6 figures with my program. Okay? I'm not going to promise that you're going to do it overnight, because you're not. I'm not going to promise that you're going to do it in 3 months, because you're not. But if you work hard, you could do it in a year. You could be making 6 figures by next year. And I know that because I've done it, right? And I've done it more than once, right? Because I've done a lot of testing on this program. So initially, when I went into business in KDP, I thought quantity was everything. I built an account and just smashed books into it and didn't really get anywhere. I made money, didn't really get anywhere. So then I started focusing on other things. And what really worked in the end is watching the data, okay guys, and having a complete strategy. If you don't have a complete strategy and you don't watch your data, what are you doing? What are you doing with KDP? What are you doing in business for that fact, okay guys? So I can teach you how to do all these things. If you are decisive, if you are a decision maker, if you are a quick decision maker, you've got 2 hours now guys, 50% or 50 off today at www.kdpcashflow.com/order. Okay guys, I can't wait to see who actually takes this offer up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave it for 3 hours. Since we didn't get anyone on this live, I don't know if this is a technical fault or what. Something's not right here. But there's nobody here on this live. So I'm going to leave it up for 3 hours. I'll get my VA right now to change the coupon code for 3 hours. Alright guys, I'm going to make this video live in the group immediately. So whoever sees it from this point on, you have 3 hours to take up this 50% offer. And guys, I'm going to go and relax now because I'm exhausted. This exhausted me. I really hope you guys got some value out of tonight. Like, especially with the keyword training, please stop thinking that it's going to change everything. Keyword training, keyword research is keyword research, guys. So I do hope you got some value out of that. And I hope you understand that motivation is a fleeting emotion, okay? It comes and goes, motivation. What you really need to do is persevere. Persevere through all adversities, because I said it before, it is the mother and it is the father of true success, guys. Alright, I'll see you next time.